Welcome back to the Steven and Steven Show. I'm Steven.
I'm Steven.
And we're the Stevens.
Wait a minute.
I feel like we have to explain to our audience why it took an extra week.
Okay.
Do you want to do this?
I'm willing to take the fall for this one, I think.
I don't think you should take the fall. I think this was a joint effort. We said when we started this, we were going to draw everything down the middle.
That's okay. That's fair.
It means if we make $100 million, we both get 50. So I think it's only fair that we split the blame. You can tell the story, but
all right,
I get my piece of the pie.
So here's kind of how it went down. I did not bring my computer home from work. We usually record via Zoom on our laptops, and I left mine at the office. But thought that was chill. That I could just I mean, it's what I use it for primarily is work. But I thought that it would just be super chill. I could use my phone. So we went through a little bit of an issue getting like an audio set up, all that kind of stuff. It worked. We spent an hour having what I considered to be easily the best episode ever.
Easily the best episode. You guys are just gonna have to take our word for it.
It's like, man, it was rough. But then somehow, as we were troubleshooting, the who was hosting the call got lost, and neither one of us had an option to record the conversation. So we finished, and as it turned out, it was just like for personal enjoyment.
Right, which was therapeutic in its own way.
Yeah,
I'm grateful for, but I wish others could have heard how great that chat was.
Edifying the saints, if you will.
Yeah, there was there's a lot of Kanye talk.
Oh yeah, there was, huh?
There was a lot of baseball, basketball comparison talk. Who do you got? Oh, first off, you're joining us from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Dunder Mifflin, yeah.
Right, but your virtual background is cutting in and out of your mug, so I can't quite read what it says.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Would you share?
Oh, wow, that is weird, huh?
Yeah, you survived.
That's weird. Okay, it says, "Congrats, you survived another meeting that could have been an email."
Oh, don't you love those?
Shout out to Colby Coleman who bought me that. So,
and shout out to Zoom. Boy, did Zoom come out thriving through this pandemic? I mean,
I'd never heard of Zoom before.
Yeah, we
had to go virtual.
Was there ever a time where you guys argued about what platform you'd use? I remember having discussions like, "Oh, we use Teams," and then somebody was like, "Oh, we just FaceTime." Like now you can do FaceTiming with like groups and stuff. And then I was like, IT department's like, "No, we're gonna Zoom."
Yeah,
that sounds lame.
We started out on Zoom, and then we went back to work very early, but there were a lot of folks who were working from home, things like that. So they did end up switching platforms for us. So I think now technically the ministry is on GoToMeeting.
Okay. Yeah.
So I use Zoom personally, but
it's a great program for work
and honestly,
for podcasting.
Honestly, I've never had to use GoToMeeting because everybody I meet with is actually at the office. So I know that others use it, but I've never had to. So
it's become a little bit of it has become a little bit of a crutch though, because now things are like, yeah, we'll just set up a quick Zoom call, which is a quick way of saying, I don't want to meet with you in person.
Or another way of saying like, you can work from home. Yeah, I know it's Saturday, but yeah, you should work from home. Speaking of which, took a personal day today and stayed home with my 6-year-old. He had President's Day off. So I took the day off to hang out with him. And I man, you'd be so proud. You'd be so excited about this. I took him to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Attaboy.
And we walked in the door, and I'm a baseball guy. It's my favorite sport, has been, was very involved all throughout my, youth. And I really wanted to get him a glove and a ball.
Yeah.
And I thought I just had these dreams of us tossing the ball in the backyard,
Right. Yeah.
So brought him in. The baseball stuff is close to the door at Dick's. We kind of walk by it and I'm like, "Hey buddy, you want to look at these gloves?" He's like, can we look at the basketball stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." I've decided I'm never going to be the kind of father who tries to live vicariously through my son. If he wants to play basketball, I just want him to do an activity. You know, it doesn't have to be sports. Like I don't care if he's an athlete. I just want him to do something. You know, get outside, play on a team, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, they could all live a life of an iPad, right? But
sure,
it's probably,
and he's really
probably
good.
Better.
Honestly, he's a great gamer. I mean,
yeah,
kid is great at video games. So we go over to the
I mean, if you want to go make your first million before you're 20 playing Fortnite,
before you're 15, like, man, like,
daddy's okay with that.
He's currently playing Kingdom Hearts on PlayStation. And he gets so frustrated when he loses, man, but he's got such good coping skills. He'll just and like, I need to take a break. And then he'll go like drink some water, do something else, and then come back. But the kid's self-talk is awesome, man. He's just like, Joel, you could do this. Like, talks to himself, encourages himself. It's pretty cool to watch, honestly. Most adults could learn something from it. Anyway, we went in. He wanted to pick a basketball. The first basketball he lays eyes on is $100.
Yeah. No, but
I didn't know basketballs were that expensive. But
I was like, basketballs were that expensive.
Let's regroup here. Let's figure out something else. So we went and found one that was $40, which was not great still, but it was better than 100. Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to make sure he got like a smaller one, like a youth size.
The youth size. Yep.
Yeah, 27.5. And so I got that one, and you know, we're going towards the checkout, and we passed by the baseball stuff again. And I was like, I just want to show you. Try. Yeah, I was like, but I just want to show you this. And so I show him, we found a glove his size, and he was into it. Like, wanted to wear the glove out of the store. He's like, this is my glove now, Daddy. I was like, okay, it says Mike Trout's name in it, and that's fine. He plays for the Angels. We're not into that, but it's okay. I'm fine. It's fine.
Joel Trout.
I just wanted him to play sports, or it just be involved in something, you know? Yeah. So the glove's like $40. Yeah. A ball's another $5 or $10 or something like that. Plus I've got this $40 basketball sitting in the cart. And I was like, bud,
so a small personal loan.
Daddy's not spending 100 bones on some sporting equipment without knowing that you were actually going to play with this stuff. So
Kingdom Hearts awaits.
Exactly. I was like, can you pick one?
Yeah.
Can you pick one? But Dad, I want them both. And I just couldn't say no. So we get to the checkout. You can't. We get to the checkout. He said stuff like, you're the best dad ever. I was like, come on, man. Like,
he's laying on thick.
Helpless.
Yeah.
Good news is we got to the checkout, and there was like a bin of like smaller basketballs. And he actually preferred the small one, which was not even close to regulation size. But if you've seen this kid dribble, you know he needs just to start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start with the basics.
Yeah. So we were able to exchange the $40 ball for like a $10 or $15 ball.
Yeah.
But it was overall, I felt like a very succking dad and son bonding day.
Isn't that a moment?
Goods. It was.
Isn't that a moment?
And it was our first. And I felt like before today, like this was my plan. Like I really wanted to go to Dick's Sporting Goods. I really wanted to kind of lure him into this thing. And so I was just pumped that he was into it a little bit. I mean, he could have told me he wanted to play lacrosse and I'd have been into it, you know, so, but fortunately we ended up with baseball and basketball. So I've got his glove.
You're on your way.
Currently, I've got the ball in the glove wrapped up. We're going to put it under a mattress tonight to try to wear it in a little bit.
Yeah. Did you put some oil in there?
I need to get some oil. I'll probably get some on Amazon. A lot of stuff is overpriced at Richard's Sporting Goods.
Yeah. Who could have predicted that? Thanks, Joe Biden, for your inflation. I think 6 is a good time to get going. I think there's still hope for a good, strong landing spot in the baseball world. Jax started basketball at 6, then he took a year off. You know, everything closed for COVID, but he's back in basketball now. And the growth that this kid has shown in a year. First off, all we do in our house right now for Jax is play basketball. It's NBA 2K. As a matter of fact, I walked over right before we recorded this, and I was like, "All right, good night, buddy." And he was just like, "DeAndre Jordan." He just says random basketball players' names. I'm like talking to him like the other day, and he's just like
past their prime basketball players, like
yeah, like not
DeAndre
like
Jordan,
like DeAndre. He's just like Josh Richardson. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, but he watched the NBA All Star. He had a great, Kyle Kuzma. He's very big into Kyle Kuzma right now. He had a great basketball weekend. This was like the mecca for him. We did basketball all weekend long. We started with the celebrity game, which he was like, I don't know what this is. Call me when this is over. We watched the Rising Stars game. We had to play 2K after that. Then Saturday he had his game, his third game. We are now 0-3 for the Nichols Spurs here in Riverside, California.
But have you scored yet? Because the last time we talked, you guys got shut out.
We're improving. Our first game was not we lost 7-0. Our second game we lost 9-2.
Who got that first field goal for you guys?
One of the kids who's underage. I won't say his name, but it was another kid besides Jax. And then this week
was it like a full-blown celebration?
Yeah,
the first time you guys hit that bucket,
their heads exploded.
14 Is it a 10-foot goal?
It's a 10-foot goal. It's a 10-foot goal.
See, that's not fair.
It's rough, and I think it's that's where Jax has struggled. Jax is yet to score. This Saturday we lost. We were actually up 4-0, 4-2. Then we went up 6-2 in the third quarter, and then we lost 9-6. Our kids scored 3 baskets, and they were on the sidelines. Like, I'm trying to coach, and these like 8-year-olds, I have 14 of them, 8-year-olds are doing defense. Like, they're like doing chants. And I'm just like, oh, be still my heart. Like, these kids. And then they ended up losing because they didn't play defense.
Because they couldn't play defense.
We played defense for 3.5 quarters, and then it all fell apart at the end of the fourth.
Golly, such a Clippers thing to do.
And Jax it's really great. It's really bizarre watching your kid play and be so obsessed with basketball. And the poor kid has struggled to hit a shot. He's doing everything else right, but the ball's not going in. So he's in a shooting slump across 3 games. This guy is running out here. He's doing crossovers. He's playing defense. He's getting rebounds. He's making good passes, but he is like 0 for 30. And every single shot is like, it's right there, man. I mean, when he gets his first one, he's going to go bonkers.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
He's got a long ways to go. I had a couple kids that actually cried this weekend because they were leading. They thought they were going to get their first W. And this league is just bizarre. We had it was weird because like the first half of the game, they're like, okay, nobody can guard in the backcourt. So I'm trying to tell these kids, I have 14 of them, so they have to rotate every 4 minutes. So some of these kids, they only get one crack at this, and they're 8 and 9, so they still need reminders. In the second half, they called a technical foul because one of my kids wasn't playing defense in the backcourt, and then they got to shoot 2 free throws out of it, which took like 2.5 minutes out of the 4 minutes rotation. And I'm like, how did this benefit any of the kids? Like, you guys called a technical foul for playing defense in the backcourt? Like, I don't know, guys. I felt like my kids. I was arguing a little bit with the refs. I was trying not to become. This game is
in single digits. Like, this is what you want to teach right now?
And you want to teach a technical foul?
You want them to learn?
You want free throws, 2 free throws with a running clock? Like, that's what we did out of this? It was a bizarre experience, and I'm trying not to be Bobby Knight out there. They have 10 games, so they're 3 weeks. They played 3, so we got 7 more to go. I'm saying if we go on a 7-0 winning streak, first place is still an option.
I think we're going to be there in a couple of weeks. I don't know if we'll be there. Is it Saturday mornings? Is that when you guys play?
Saturday mornings and Friday nights. I think by the time you guys end up getting here, we'll be in the Friday night component of our thing.
Oh, so I think we will for sure be there on a Friday night then.
Yeah, it's which I'm like, Friday nights, like, why are 8-year-olds playing basketball. Like their tip off is like 8:30
Well, what else?
p.m.
What else do they have to do? I think at this point.
Okay.
So
All the parents are mad. They're like, Coach, why did you make the schedule? I'm like, I did not give up my Friday night to play basketball. But
to go 2 for 40 from the field.
2 for 40 from the field. And then we watch All-Star game or All-Star Saturday night, which was the 3-point contest.
Yeah. How did you explain to him the dunk contest? Because for me,
yeah,
it's hard. We grew up on a dunk contest, and even in recent mememory, Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, like that was a all-time classic dunk contest.
That was 5 years ago, and that was a great dunk contest. I will tell you this: halfway through the dunk contest, he was bored, and so he's like, "I'm going to the bathroom. I have to go number 2. Can I have my iPad?" So he ditched out like halfway through the dunk contest, which I'm like, "Way to go, NBA! You can't even keep the attention span of an 8-year-old."
He honestly accomplished pretty much the exact same thing those guys did, though.
I mean, the dunk contest has just become like, it almost feels like something that they have to do. I feel like most of the dunks have been good or have already been done before.
Well, and the problem for
names.
The problem for me with the dunk contest is you've got the best dunkers in the league won't participate because they don't want to risk their reputations. They don't want to lose to some. Like, I mean, look, Zach LaVine is not a max player. He's not the number one option on a playoff team.
Nobody.
Prove me wrong.
He might give him another 60 days. He very well might be.
He's not even the best player on his own team.
He might be. I can tell you this: he's going to be an unrestricted free agent this year. And he will be the number one.
You think Zach LaVine gets a max deal?
Oh, yeah. I am a fan of the San Antonio Spurs. We have cap space for the first time in NBA history, apparently. And I would pay Zach LaVine a max contract.
Listen, are you – well, it's not your money.
I wouldn't even –
but
it's not my money.
So, of course you would.
Of course I would.
Did I see you on Twitter praising LaMelo Ball?
Yeah. So – keeping with the theme of this, once we finally got over the wacky dunk contest, we were watching the All-Star game, and LaMelo Ball was playing with DeJounte Murray, and they were a terror. They were amazing. They were the only two guys playing defense, and they were playing defense on everybody. And they were just like,
get the memo?
They did not get the memo. They're just swarming everybody who comes across half court. And I think both of them, like I think DeJounte Murray's like got a wingspan of like 7'2". And I think LaMelo Ball is like 7'1". They're spanning like half of the width of the basketball court.
Have you seen that clip of Giannis? I think it's a couple of years ago. He was like mic'd up during an All-Star game. And he was just like, guys, I know it's the All-Star game, but can we at least think about some defense?
That sounds like Giannis. Giannis is he was playing pretty good towards the end of it. But
Steph hit 16 threes.
Steph was fabulous. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Bonkers. Kind of my favorite thing about Steph is when he just like shoots this beautiful bomb from like the logo. Yeah. And that thing is halfway to the hoop and he turns around and walks back towards the other end. I freaking love it.
I've never been that good at anything.
Never. I don't know if there's a thing in my life I'm as good at as Steph Curry is at shooting a freaking basketball.
Like to where
it's
I'm
otherworldly.
I'm halfway done with it, and I already know I can ignore this because it's going to be perfect. I've never written a paper that way. I've never done something and been like, okay, I'm halfway done. It's already perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and check out for the other half of this because there's nothing left to do with it. He didn't even watch the ball. How disrespectful. He was doing it from like half court too. That was
he's in another league, man.
He's also ruined basketball from my kid.
I know.
Because that's all my kid wants to do is check up threes now. I'm like, bro, can you just attempt a layup? Can you pretend?
Yeah, I like some of the Steph does though, like other than just like shooting the three. Like he moves without the ball as well as anybody who's ever done it. Like
everybody wants to shoot like Steph, but nobody wants to work as hard as that guy.
And that guy is relentless.
And nobody wants to move like he does. And nobody wants to get in shape to move like he does.
His cardio is next level.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers.
One things we talked about in our failed attempt to do a podcast last week was this documentary about the Malice at the Palace.
Yes. Oh, yes. Great.
And
did you have any new thoughts that you want to?
Well, I did, because it has me thinking about Reggie Miller, who was one of my favorite players.
I forget that he was at the Malice of the Palace.
He was in a sling, in a suit.
Yeah.
But he was there. And Reggie was one of my favorite players of all time. And I feel like Steph Curry is like Reggie Miller on cocaine.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. It's true.
And I feel like Reggie was like at another level. And Steph came along and he's like, I'm a few inches shorter, so I'm going to work 3 times as hard. And I'm going to shoot it from literally anywhere on the court.
Yeah.
Out of control.
Also, Reggie Miller thought he shot a lot of threes because he would shoot like 5 or 6 a game.
Yes.
We're
in a different league now.
Steph shot 35 3-pointers last night. I was like, oh,
and made 16 of them.
Made 16 of
which
them.
is like, was that 40%, 40-ish percent?
Yeah, that's really good percentages.
I'm playing NBA 2K as well. I'm 2K22.
Good.
I'm in GM mode, which I think is one of the better ways to play, because you can play the actual game, but then you also have the option of doing the trades and stuff.
Now, are you on the? Are you playing the 80-year version where you control everything and you just kind of simulate, or are you doing the 10-year version where you have to like talk to the players and check on their morale? Okay.
Yeah. Chit chat with so and so.
Yeah, because and you have to keep sponsors happy. That's way more. That's way more intrusive and time consuming, and takes way more legitimate.
It's to the level of intensity that I think I need to move the PlayStation to a different room.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of like morale in my own home. Sure. But I was going to tell you, in shaping my team, the Dallas Mavericks, who I moved to Fort Worth, by the way. They're now the Fort Worth Mavericks.
It's just to be petty.
Yeah, it's just a better political ideology over here. We're mask free in Tarrant County, so it's better for fans if I move them west about 30 miles. But I picked
Ottawa.
I picked up Keldon Johnson. Currently, and I just want you to know, he's turned into a baller for me in year 3. Yeah. Homie's up to like an 88 overall.
That's what we're hoping for.
I feel like you guys have got some future stars there on the Spurs. I'm a Keldon Johnson fan. I've somehow managed to have my starting 5 right now is Luka Doncic, obviously, who's up to a 99 in year 3. I wrestled Klay Thompson away in a trade. Gordon Hayward is at the 3.
Oh.
I have Keldon Johnson at the 4, and then Clint Capella at the 5. Tell me that's not an unbeatable team.
That's a pretty good lineup. I will say though, I watched Luka last night in the All-Star game, and he did his best James Harden impression. He was a little heavy, little wide out there.
He's got a little baby fat left.
Yeah, and took some pretty wild threes. If that guy ever gets in shape though,
I want to remind you that he's 22.
He could be good at
it.
I forget he's 22. I mean, what was I eating at 22? Like gas station food?
Yeah. I want to remind you that he is 22 years old. Yeah. My day job is pastoring college students, and frequently we'll get into discussions about basketball, and it's funny to see these jokers who play at the YMCA with their opinions about all these kind of guys. And I got a hot take from one of them the other day about Luka, and I was like, hey, he's a year younger than you, right? Like while you're over there, like, hooping hard at the local LA Fitness, that guy's going to be a first team all NBA again.
Yeah. It's coming. It's probably not going to be this year, but he's definitely not done being
he's an MVP candidate.
Player.
He's an MVP candidate. And if the Mavericks will get their act together and put like some people around him, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was last week on the failed attempt, but we're not going to go anywhere pairing him with Spencer Dinwiddie.
No, you're not. But that's cute. I thought it was a funny.
Who's your number 2 option? Well, it's either Jalen Brunson or Spencer Dinwiddie. I like Jalen Brunson though. I got something for him in a trade on 2K, and I wasn't mad about it.
You guys should be very smart with it. You guys should be very smart with him this offseason. Speaking of basketball, and this will transition to our next topic of Kanye. But I don't know if man. I don't know if you know this about Tristan Thompson, but Tristan Thompson has recently this year started off playing with the Kings, and over the last whatever it was 10-14 days was traded to the Indiana Pacers. Since being with the Indiana Pacers, which he was on their team for 3 days, 72 hours, they basically told him, we don't want you on our team anymore. And they cut him. They waived him. He put a farewell post up for Indiana.
This man,
for the Pacers. Tristan Thompson was in there.
Treated a team for which he was contracted for 3 days better than he does his own baby mama.
Let me tell you guys something. I worked for Fiesta, Texas, Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, in San Antonio for a day. I didn't even say goodbye. I didn't even pick up my check. I worked for a day and I was like, I'm not doing this. And I left and they never saw from me again. I'm pretty sure I didn't even file taxes for that day.
I wonder if we should, that would be an interesting segment. Thank you, goodbyes to all of the jobs we worked at for less than a week.
For less than a week?
Yeah. I have a couple actually.
Yeah.
When I'd first moved to California, I was working for a temp agency. And being from Texas, having gone to college in Oklahoma, I have certain understanding of time and distance when it comes to driving.
Right.
And so I got this call.
Could not be more different in California than Texas.
And I remember I'd only been there for 3 months at the time. I got this call from the staffing agency and they're like, hey, you're in North Orange County and I've got this opening for a place I think you would really be great at. The only thing is it's in El Segundo. And I was like, well,
from North Orange County?
Yeah. And I was like, well, where's El Segundo? And they're like, you'd have to map it from your house. And so, when you open up your Maps app, the first thing when you type in the address, all it tells you is how many miles away it is.
Miles. And it's probably 12 miles.
It doesn't translate to minutes. It was like 30 miles.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking like 30 miles, 30 minutes. I can do a half-hour commute every morning.
Maybe 45. That's normal for California, right?
I'm thinking traffic. Yeah. My first day, I'm supposed to be there at 9. I leave at 8:05.
Oh, did you get there by noon?
I showed up at like 9:45, 9:50. It was like, I am so sorry. I had no idea. They laughed. They were understanding. No big deal. Come on in. You're less than an hour late. We get it. Made fun of me, for being from Texas, whatever. I leave that day at 6:00. I get back to North Orange County at 8:30.
Yeah.
So this has now become a 12.5-hour investment for a 8-hour work day.
Yeah.
The next day, I'm like, all right, be there at 9. It took me hour and a half yesterday. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to leave at 7:30. I left at 7:30. I got there at 9:30. And I just walked in and gave them my key card and said, this is not going to work.
Sorry, guys.
Got in my car and drove back. And it took me an hour and a half to get back in the middle of the morning.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, smart. Yeah, this is not a thing. So to Sensa, the diet company I worked for a day and a half, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It was a blessing to be a part of your organization. And had things worked out differently, maybe we wouldn't be having this kind of a conversation.
You'll always hold a special place in my heart.
A special place in my heart since El Segundo.
Well, Tristan Thompson's was a little longer than yours. He made it 3 days. But the reason I bring up Tristan Thompson crossing over from basketball is we got to talk about your boy, Pastor Ye, Pastor Ye, leader of Sunday service, apparently. Tell me how,
bro.
I don't even know where to start with this guy. He's been deleting a lot of tweets and, a lot of Instagram posts. I understand Kanye.
I had to turn on my post notifications.
Yeah.
And thank God for the internet where people screenshot stuff and save it forever.
Yeah. I think there's now an account that's called like Kanye deleted posts or something like that.
Oh, brilliant.
But he, his freak out started, and this is where the Tristan Thompson comes in. He found out that he wasn't invited to his daughter's birthday party, or that there was a party going on.
Oh my God.
From Tristan Thompson. Like, I can understand.
Like, Tristan, bro, be cool. Like, what are you doing?
I can understand.
Haven't you put that family through enough?
I can understand the Kardashians going, you know what? We really don't want Kanye here. Just do this party and nobody tell him. But they let Tristan Thompson be there. Can you imagine Kanye West being like, wait a second, I'm not invited
to my own daughter's party,
but Tristan is there? Like, I'm just trying to compare this to some of my, like, and I'm not going to say any names, but I think there's one in particular. Like, could you just imagine any of my sister-in-laws if I weren't invited to my kids, but one of their exes was allowed to come to my kid's birthday, and I had to find out about it by calling that ex? I mean, I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry if you're not in on this joke right now.
Oh, I'm so in on this joke. I'm sorry for everybody who's not.
But I think, like, dude, they're setting that they're triggering Kanye, is what I'm saying. And I don't think
they're doing this on purpose, right?
Yeah.
They're doing this on purpose.
Super. The more that they have dug into Kanye, like the worst of Kanye's come out, but we already know he's crazy. But
I think my favorite post of Kanye's during all of this. Well, first of all, his insistence on calling Pete Davidson Skeet is next level comedy. But he has
Kim's like, please stop, don't do this. He's like, I'm sorry, I won't say anything mean about Skeet anymore.
And then he shares screenshots of his conversations with Kim.
Kim is like, why can't we keep these conversations private?
He didn't even have her number. And so when he shows the screenshot of his message to her, she's saved under Kim other phone. And he had to get first of all, he's asking all these people for Kim's number. They're not giving it to him. And then the guy who finally does, he puts on blast that he's the guy who gave him Kim's number.
That's
now
strong,
he's like, now he's texting Kim, and she's like, why can't you leave our conversations private? He's like, are you kidding me? I got a text from my favorite person in the world. I'm your biggest fan. I want to tell everybody.
My favorite person. I want everyone to know it. All I could think of when I read that was like Ron Burgundy. Like, I wanted to shout it from a mountain, but I didn't have a mountain. I had a news.
I had an iPhone and an Instagram account and 14 million followers.
But look, we have to be on Kanye's side about this. I mean, he is.
Oh, I totally am.
For better or worse, whatever you think about Kanye West, who you can call him crazy or bipolar or whatever, the guy's been trying to get his life in order. He's
trying to take care of his kids.
And he's like, you let my daughter have a TikTok at whatever she is, like 13. Like, what is wrong with you? And I'm totally on board with that. I'm like, yeah, what is wrong with you? He has a right to do this. I thought it was funny when he was like, not happy that Kim Kardashian was dressing a certain way whenever they were married. I'm like, good luck with that, Kanye. Like, but this does like follow the theme of that.
He's trying. He's trying, and he also, listen, I'm trying my best to not go full on conspiracy theorist here, but
by all means,
Kanye said some things. he's saying some things about Hillary Clinton and Ellen DeGeneres, and
Like, leave it to Kanye to be the one to break all this.
Is it weird that I sort of believe him?
I mean, don't they say like the craziest people will say the most truthful things? I don't know, man.
The guy's got nothing to lose.
No.
And of course, one of my favorite parts was him using the Captain America Civil War poster and photoshopping him and Pete Davidson into the Iron Man Captain America.
I have to find out. I have to find this lineup. Kanye. And then
apparently he's done with Kid Cudi because Kid Cudi is friends with, quote, you know who.
Skeet.
So Kid Cudi is now his enemy. Travis Scott and Future are still his friends. He's anti Billie Eilish because Billie Eilish stopped a concert because a fan needed an inhaler, and she made a comment that he interpreted as calling out Travis Scott. So
she definitely was.
Oh, for sure. He's now threatening to not play Coachella if Billie doesn't apologize.
Yes. If anybody can see this. So on Team Kanye, he has Drake, Julia Fox, who he's already
broken up with.
Uncut Gems, Travis Scott, and Future. And on the other side, he's got the stupid grin of Skeet. And then he's got Kim K. It's Billie Eilish, and then the back is Taylor Swift. Like, this guy he's just not gonna let it go. That's what
he will not leave Taylor Swift alone. It's like, I know she's not a part of this, but I still hate her. Did you see the post? Golly, it was a few days ago.
Swift. He's got Taylor Swift dressed as Black Panther. The whitest girl in this entire meme is dressed as Black Panther.
You might need to look this up for me. There was one he posted a couple of days ago that was like somebody had commented or something and made the remark that like all the people that Kanye had beef with, and Kanye replied and was like, you forgot the following, and then listed like 40 more people that Kanye had beef with. And at this point, I'm starting to feel left out. That I don't have beef with Kanye.
I just typed in Kanye beef, and what came up was Kanye beef list.
Exactly. It was a thing.
Come on, guys. This list is twice as long. You've got to put Apple, Spotify, Vivendi, Universal, TikTok, Black History Month, Obama, the whole cast of SNL, Hillary Clinton, the devil herself, Corey Gamble, Disney liberals. And then and then the best one, of course, the list includes Peppa Pig. I mean, that's Kanye West, bro.
He's
fighting for his family, dude. He's fighting for his family.
The man is going to run for president of the United States in 2 years.
But not in every state.
He's going to get votes. I'm telling you, he's going to get votes.
Well, in all seriousness, though, like, I do think it's a little, like, his antics make us, like, call him crazy. But he's up against this Kardashian machine, bro. And the Kardashians are not gonna lose this battle. Like, they are
like, I was never, people talk about the Illuminati and they talk about all this stuff, and I'm just like, but now I feel like if anybody would have known about something like that, it would have been Kanye.
Yeah.
And so for him to be like, Hillary Clinton's the devil, I'm like, and then
Kanye West is going to be the one exposing her.
And then this dude was found like hung, who like apparently was like supplying girls to Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh yeah, that was just this week.
Yes, I'm just saying, like, we are this close to becoming a full-fledged conspiracy theory podcast, and I'm not against it.
We can go that way. We can have conspiracy hour.
You know what? We probably would get more listeners. I don't know if they'd be British or not, but maybe this is how we get into American podcast lore.
It's true. I just want to say,
I know his name's not Steven, but if Kanye wants to come on this show and talk to us, I'll allow it.
We can give him an honorary name change for a day. Stephen Kanye West. I'm very down for that. Speaking of international relations, I want to close our segment with these thoughts, or I want to discuss this shenanigans in Canada.
I thought you were talking about Ukraine, and I was like, bro, I am ill-equipped to talk about this. I have no idea what's happening over there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know either. I know that Russia's about to bang their doors in, and our president is eating Jello at the meantime. But this stuff in Canada is pretty wild. Did you see these police officers ride through on mounted horseback, run over that lady? I'm laughing. It's not funny. They ran over that lady in a medical scooter.
Listen,
what are you guys doing?
Somewhere there is a prophet calling them the horsemen of the apocalypse. I promise.
Maybe it was the same prophet that was like, Kim and Kanye were just on stage at Lakewood Church. So.
Listen to me. Joel Osteen, call that man and help reunite his marriage. That's all he wants.
What is he doing?
Where's Rich Wilkerson right now?
You're telling me that they don't have a marriage counseling class at Lakewood Church? Come on. I mean, what a mess.
This just goes to show you, like, you got to give people some time to see what's working and what's not.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe Kanye put all that money in the walls at Lakewood. I don't know.
For the plumber to find. Canada. So we're dangerously close to seeing some pretty wild stuff, I think, in Canada. And I have recently called. I'm excited because I think it might be time for the United States, which we're not going to do under this president, but it might be time for the liberation of Canada. I'm starting to think about America might need
the annexation of Canada.
Ooh, yeah. America might need a baseball hat on their geopolitical map here. What's going on up there is really bizarre. I'm actually a little surprised. Doesn't Canada still have like some governing connection to them and in some, I don't know, maybe it's not because is it a French colony? Now I have to look this up. I'm just
the crown. Hold on, you kind of cut out of me a little bit, but your question was, aren't they still connected to England in a way, right?
They are, right?
I want to say that technically, I mean, they are a free country, but I want to say they're kind of like Australia.
No, they're part of the Commonwealth.
Like, they still observe the crown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're part of an independent state, but still joined as part of the British Commonwealth in 1931. I wonder if the Queen is going to pay attention to this. I mean,
well, the Queen has
weird
COVID.
over there.
She's 95 years old and she's COVID positive. So
best of luck, my lady.
Well wishes.
I just think what's going on in Canada is pretty wild. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that this close.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that's the thing. It's in the Western Hemisphere, and the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah,
it's not just like this isn't Chile or Venezuela.
Right.
This is Canada.
It's Canada. This is a country that thrives with socialism and all kinds of other shenanigans.
Yeah, and I will say this though, there's a guy here who actually is marrying a Canadian girl, and I was talking to him about this, and the impression I get is that, talking about like what's happening in, I guess, is it Ottawa? Is that where this is all going down?
Ottawa. Yep.
Talking about what's happening in Ottawa and saying like Canada's crazy is kind of the equivalent of saying, like, look at what's happening in California. The U.S. is crazy. That their provinces have enough cultural difference that even saying like, oh man, Canada's really, really losing it it's not totally fair. Now, I think that Justin Trudeau, the prime minister, who, have you read the conspiracy theories about him?
That he's Castro's son?
Yeah.
Speaking of conspiracy podcasts,
right here we go. We're just fully going into it.
Let's go
Next
for
week,
it.
I'm bringing my top 3 favorite conspiracy theories.
All right, let's do it.
And we will.
I have some good ones.
Man, I'm talking about ones that I will fully believe. Like
Good.
I'm on board with. But he basically said, like, you know, Texas is not California. They're both in the US. But like BC is different, you know, than other places, than like Quebec. And so
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're not set up like us quite.
No. And that's, man, I read some of the propositions on the Texas 2022 ballot. Do you know that there is a proposition to abolish property tax?
Oh my God.
And to not without enforcing a new state income tax. Texas doesn't have state income taxes.
Yeah. You guys abolish the property tax? You think Californians are moving to Texas now?
Bro. There are like we've looked at like buying and building and that kind of stuff, and property taxes are a major factor in that. There are certain counties where property taxes are out of control. And so as we're kind of observing these things, I'm like, if we got rid of property taxes altogether, literally everybody's a homeowner.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the zip code we live in right now, for the house that we're in, our property taxes are about $12,000 a year. And that's in Texas and North Fort Worth. And we don't live in South Lake. We don't live in any of the like bougie we live in a nice city. I mean, you've been to our house. We live in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
But it's not gated. It's not anything special. It's just nice. It's just like a nice little middle class situation. And we love it. But I'm here to tell you, the minute those property taxes go away, life gets different here.
Very, very. That's a big thing, because a good portion of my mortgage check goes to property taxes here in California. And I remember living in picking the area that we decided to purchase, like 2 streets down, it's a whole different property tax situation. And it's like, that house is cheaper, but man, those property taxes make your payment go bonkers. Also, you have to carry earthquake taxes. Anyways.
Let me ask you, what's gas like right now in California?
Oh man, I just found a cheap spot the other day and filled up for $4.95 a gallon, and I was shocked to find $4.95 a gallon. I haven't seen. It was like this place that like they opened, and I think the guy forgot to put a 5 up there, and he was like, "Here's a 4 instead." But most of the stuff around here is you're looking at like $5.15, $5.25 a gallon, and that's for like a regular unleaded. That's not even premium, so. It's nasty, man, but it's just how it is. You guys made a law? What was your abortion law? Like you're now
the heartbeat
incentivizing.
Law.
Yeah, but you're like kind of incentivizing
people to sue. Right.
California just made. Gavin Newsom just passed this new law. I need to find out what it is, but they're mirroring Texas. It's just in a whole different.
Like the opposite?
California Governor Gavin Newsom announces legislation that will empower private citizens to sue gun makers for up to $10,000 per gun, similar to the Texas law that allows citizens to sue those who help women get abortions. Retweet if you're supporting fighting fire with fire. That's from Occupy Democrats. So the premise is if there is a school shooting in California, pretty much private citizens can go and sue that gun owner for. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? What? Like, these are 2 different sides of the spectrum here.
Well, gas is about $3 a gallon here.
Yeah.
People are irate.
How dare they? How dare they give you guys that free gas?
The propositions on the ballot for the primary, and I think what they are is they're propositions for the Republican Party platform, and it's like it basically reads like a Pauline epistle. It feels like straight from the Bible. And you know, for me, I'm like, yeah. But it's very interesting how different when you talk about the US, you know, like the United States of America. It's just
Are we
really and man, when you're in maybe it's because I was in California and obviously still have family there that I see, and we're there 3-4 times a year, you know, so I see this contrast. And obviously the politicization of the pandemic really brought some things home that emphasized the difference in the way this was being handled, and then just brought up even more stuff: guns, abortion, gas prices. I mean, it just all. And what we've got is the most polarizing political figure in my lifetime, and I would say people twice as old as me could probably also say that Donald Trump is the most polarizing political figure of their lifetime as well. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I made the kind of I guess stupid assumption. I was like, "But has it kind of always been like this? Like, didn't they hate Reagan?" And they were like, "Yeah, but no."
So this is a new kind of
Not
hate
so
or love
much.
too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
people that love this guy like he's Jesus or something.
Yeah, there are like my great aunt is posting things on Facebook of like him riding on a white horse, like next to like John the Baptist and Jesus Christ, like coming in to save us. And he's like got angel wings. Like
what was the rally that you guys didn't you guys have a rally in Fort Worth? Not you guys, but people that lived in Fort Worth, that like JFK was not assassinated and he was going to come down and show his face in downtown Fort Worth or something, and Trump was going to meet him there. Wasn't there like something that took place like that like a month ago?
I'm not familiar with that, so, but that sounds about right.
JFK
sounds
rally.
about right. One of our claims to fame.
Oh, good. It was led by QAnon, so that's good.
I'm hoping to have Q in the podcast in the next few weeks.
We should. Next week, bring your conspiracies. We'll get into the weeds of our favorite conspiracies.
Was there something else we talked about in our dress rehearsal last week that went over well? I'm trying to think. I know we talked about basketball. We talked about baseball a little bit, which that's like kind of the bane of my existence right now is the labor talks. They're talking again. We talked today for
I don't know that they're actually going to play baseball.
We're not going to play. We're going to play probably half a season. Spring training's been officially delayed. Billionaires fighting with millionaires.
Meanwhile, the poors are trying to fill up their gas tanks around here.
The poors. Yep.
Poors. Next week, let's do conspiracies. Yeah, I don't need.
I think
don't
that's
put
great.
any pour on me. I
think that'll be great. And it'll probably
top 3 conspiracies that you believe. Agree 100%. All right. Well, thanks for everybody for listening to this. We had a blast. We're really sorry about last week's technical error. Trust me, guys, that was a good one. When we're getting warmed back up here again. But don't forget to follow us at the Hailstone on Twitter or at Steven Shelton on Twitter. And you can follow us at the 2 Stevens. I do want you to go put up this poll, Steven. Are you Team Kanye or Team Kim? And let's see where our folks are at.
You know what's crazy? I'm looking at our stats right now, and we, even though we didn't, our last episode published on February 1st, which is like 3 weeks ago, it is continuing to get downloads. So it is our most downloaded episode ever.
I appreciate that. Thank you for everyone who's downloading the February 1st episode.
They're into it. I love it. Love that for us.
There'll be more. Love that for us. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. And if you haven't yet, go to our Instagram and vote on the poll. Team Kanye or Team Kim? All right. I'm Steven, and that's Steven, and we're the Stevens.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.